Greetings everyone. So a couple weeks ago I showed you my 35mm camera collection. Today I thought I'd show you the rest of the collection. I have a few more 35mm film cameras that I didn't show because I couldn't find them at the time. And I have a few medium format film cameras. I have a couple of polaroids, a couple of older point and shoot cameras, and there are a couple of digital point and shoot cameras on there. I'm filming this with a camera R7. I have lots of digital cameras as well, but I don't know that I need to show you that. They're not that interesting. I have the standard, mostly Canon. My first digital SLR camera was a Canon 50D. The Canon 50D was a great camera. Kind of got my feet wet into the digital world. And it was the camera I bought after my Rebel 2000 35mm film camera. I had bought the Rebel 2000 back in 2000, and I used it up until about 2010. And in 2010 I bought my 50D by Canon. At the time I had wanted to go in and buy a Nikon. I had used Canon quite a bit in the film, and I hadn't used much of Nikon, so I went looking for a digital Nikon. But it turned out that just like when I went and bought the Rebel, the Canon Rebel, I was looking for a digital camera, but the Canon actually turned out to be significantly less expensive and similar quality. And same thing happened. I went to buy the 50D. I went to buy a Nikon, but the 50D was much better price for equal. I think that's why Canon gets a lot of the market share right now. They tend to have a lot of good low grade or consumer grade cameras, and that's why they tend to be probably one of the biggest reasons why they have most of the market share. But anyway, most of my cameras are Canons. Because of the 50D, I bought a couple lenses with it, and then I graduated to a 70 Mark II. And now, I could use the same lenses, and then from the 70 Mark II I went to a 5D Mark IV, and now I have a Canon EOS R7, and I still use the 5D Mark IV a lot. It's a beautiful camera. It's big and heavy, but it's a beautiful camera. I also have a Fuji X-T4 digital. I have a Canon M6 Mark II as well. They're just kind of smaller ones that I use for backpacking. The M6 Mark II is great for that because it's small, and the lenses are small. It's very small, lightweight, but it gives you a lot of power. I used to use this camera a lot for backpacking. This is a Canon G7X Mark II. I didn't buy the Mark III because it just looked like it had a lot of problems. And so I went to the M6 Mark II. Before that, for backpacking, I had this Canon SX720HS point and shoot digital. Before that, I had another smaller point and shoot, but I still use the M6 Mark II for backpacking just because it's so small and easy. I took the R7 on one backpacking trip and it was okay. Probably did a little bit better video quality. Still, it's just a little bit big. And so right now the Canon M6 Mark II is my go-to for backpacking. The R7 I use for everything else. The 5D Mark IV I use for landscapes and portraits. And the 70 Mark II and the 50D, I still have them and I use them. I teach a 4-H photography class, and I use that for the kids that need a camera, and they work great. But today I'd like to show you my film cameras, the rest of the story. In my last video I mentioned I couldn't find two cameras. One of them was this one. I did find it. This is a Pentax Spotmatic F, I believe. Yep, Spotmatic F. It's a pretty good camera. Really like that sound. Let's make it a faster shutter speed though. Really good looking little small handy camera. really well built. Now this isn't the one the other one I had lost, but it's a lot like it. In fact, I forgot about this one. Somebody had given it to me, and I've never used it. I'm not even sure if it works. It's got a pretty soft plunger, but I mean, it looks pretty clean. It's a rangefinder. And the optics are clear. Don't know how to use it. Okay, here we go. There's the focusing. Might be just a teeny bit out of alignment. But anyway, I don't even know where AGFAs are made. Super Cytolet. Oh, right there. Made in Germany. This is made in Germany on the back. You probably can't see it. Okay, so those are the... Well, this is a lot like the one that I couldn't find. This is the one I couldn't find is a Kodak. A consumer grade, which looks a lot like this. Maybe a little bigger. Maybe a little bit better built. Eventually I'll find it. And there's another point and shoot somewhere I couldn't find. I did find this one. This is the one I had when I was a teeny kid. Kodak Instamatic X15. It's pretty dirty. It's pretty crusty. And the lens, I could probably get in there and clean it. But still works. This takes 110 film, and I actually do have a roll of 110 film. I actually found some. So after I found this camera, I looked online and I was able to find a roll of 110, and I'm going to stick it in there. And once I clean it up, we'll shoot it. Okay, and last time I showed you a lot of the films I had already. Lots of film stocks. This is the film for 110. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. It's a little cartridge. I don't want to take it out of the foil yet. It's a little pre-made cartridge. I don't know if you can see that on the foil. And the film is just wound up inside of it, and then when you're done you take the cartridge out and you send it into the lab. But I had so much fun with this camera when I was a kid. I took this to Boy Scout campouts. I took it to, well, everywhere. I took it everywhere. And just had a lot of good memories with it. You can see inside. I mean, a very simple, basic box. But I had so many memories with this camera. Unfortunately, it didn't take the best photos, and sometimes you can't even tell who the people are in the photo. But still, I mean, that was a great thing when I was a kid. I just loved that camera. Another camera that's kind of like that. This is called a Baby Brownie 2. This was my mom's camera, and it was kind of like this camera for me to her. When she was a little girl, she had this. I think this was made in the 1930s to 1950s. I did look it up once. I looked up all the specs. I actually started making a video about just this camera, but I never finished it. Maybe someday I'll finish it. But a very simple little camera. It just comes apart. Let's see, push these down. Take the front off. And then you uses I believe the size is 170. No, 127. That's right, 127. And it's just like medium format cameras. You have your spool here that you have to take and move it around. And load up. I do have some 127 film as well. Got about 3 rolls of it. And this camera actually takes better pictures than this camera. and they look clear. I mean, you can see good detail and clarity with that. Another camera we had when I was a kid was this Polaroid, which reminds me I have one more Polaroid. I'll go find it real fast. It's not a Polaroid though. This is a Sonar one step with a flash, and this camera works still. The flash did work last time I used it. Didn't want to turn on, but maybe I gotta have film in it. Doesn't have any film. This is the film that it uses, XX70, because this is a something like an ISO 100, I think. It doesn't work too good indoors, and so that's why this camera has a flash. This film also goes for this one, XX70. I actually found this from a deceased person's sell. You know, when they sell, family gets together and sells all their stuff. That's where this one came from. They didn't know if it worked or not, but it's in beautiful condition. I got this not too long ago. It came with this snazzy case. Nice leather case. It just slips in there. The beauty about these is they're slim. They can go in a bag easy. Really like this camera. I actually took one roll of film out of it and did have one malfunction. But other than that, it kept exposing on the same film for about 3 of them. Then I realized that there was a tab block in it, so I fixed that. But yeah, basically the same cameras. Just this one is more what you're used to seeing from the 80s. I believe this one was from the 70s. And I should put that one back out. Yeah, put that back up. Okay, so this is from the 80s, this is from the 70s, but they both take the same film, they both work still. In fact, I kind of want to load that up. Okay. They always have these cute sayings, all that glitters. Usually they have different things they put on there. Polaroid film smells so good when you open it up. I don't know if it's right to smell it or not, but it smells really good. Now you just open that front gate. And you slide it in so you can grab that tab. Let's see. Okay, that's the right way there. Close it. Kicks out that thing. The cartridges have the batteries in them. And this camera's cool. It has a manual focus or an autofocus. I don't know if you can see that. This camera just is a manual focus right there. Okay, this sounds like the flash is winding up. Okay, so I'm going to put on automatic focus. Okay, flash is ready. Take a picture of the camera. Turn the flash off. Okay, so you should put this in something dark. So normally I have a shirt pocket, but I'm just going to turn it over underneath on the chair. So both those cameras work pretty much the same, except for this has a flash, that don't. They both have a manual focus, but this has an autofocus. This has a film counter. That one don't. At least I don't think it does. Okay. I went and found the other Polaroid type camera that I have. This just makes me giggle. Notice it's still in the box. Still has a foam around it. Showed you how dumb kids can be sometimes. Misconceptions. So this is a Kodak party time instant camera. I bet you've never seen one of these before. If you have, tell me in the comments. I'd really like to know if anybody ever had. I've never seen one before. I've never seen anybody else have one. I used this for 1 year because the warranty said, when I read this camera, it said 1 year limited warranty. And I was probably somewhere in the ages of 10 to 12, and I thought a 1 year warranty meant after 1 year it wasn't going to work anymore. So I used it for 1 year, took a lot of photos. After that year was up, I put it back in the box and I didn't shoot it again. So, you know, I was a pretty dumb kid. It has a tripod mount, has a spot for a flash, it has a spot for straps, has a light and darken thing, but it used Kodak instant film. And you'd slide the cartridge up there just like a Polaroid. I wonder if maybe perhaps it uses Polaroid. Gonna have to do a little more research. Pretty sure it had its own film, but I looked for film for it not long ago and I couldn't find anything. Nor could I find the battery. It's a weird flat rectangular size J 6 volt, and I could not find that. But it didn't take as good pictures as a Polaroid. I mean, it took fairly comparable, but I prefer the Polaroid photos. I took lots of pictures. It says party time. I took this to everybody's birthday party, and all my brothers and sisters and cousins, and took it camping. Took lots of photos with it, but like I said, I only used it for the year, and then I thought it was done. So I remember being very disappointed when I put it in the box. I guess I can't use this anymore. The year's up. But honestly, I bet if I had a battery, I bet it would still work. Let's see, I'm going to put that out there. The follies of human youth. I think that just leaves the medium format cameras. I have two DJI Osmo Actions. I have the version 1 Osmo Action, and that's the version 4. I got that not too long ago. I think from the Osmo Action 1 to the 2 wasn't a big deal, and from the 2 to 3 wasn't a big deal, but it seemed like the 4 was fairly significantly improved over the first version. Does a great job. I really like that camera. As you can see, it got some flashes. I've got lots of flashes. Just picked them up over the years. Mostly Canon. A few Nikon ones. I've got lenses. These are Canon lenses for film. This one is a 100 to 300 f5.6. 80 to 200. I got dozens of 50 millimeter, 1.4 to 1.8s. I've got the screw-in lenses. I've got lots of lenses like that laying around. I just didn't want to bring them all out. So that leaves the medium format cameras left. I have this Pentax 645. This is a beast. Lenses 80 to 160. I'd really like to get another lens for it, but I mean that is a really good lens, honestly. Not done much with this camera other than just maybe I ran one roll through it. It's kind of awkward, but it's cool. Now the other two remaining cameras I love to death. I mean, these are fantastic. This is a Fuji GSW 690. This is the original. There's 3 versions. You have to wind it twice, and I don't think it works. So there's no film in it. It has a very ordinary sounding click, barely clicks. Kind of boring that way. This one has the 65mm lens. There's 2 versions. There's this is the GSW 690. So 690 means 6x9 size negative. So it's a huge negative. The GSW, so the S tells you that this is the 65mm. If you get a GW 690, then it's a 90mm. And it's a fixed lens. But this is the very first generation. This is a beautiful camera. There is no rust, there's no marks, no wear. I've used it quite a bit. Takes a fantastic photo. It's even got the eye cup. If you go looking for one these days, you won't find them with the eye cups, and they're a lot more beat up. But this is just a beautiful camera. I just love it. You can do 16 exposures, 8 exposures, or 4 exposures. 16 exposures, I believe you have to have 220 film. So you can do either 120 film or 220 film. Okay, just pop the back. You can see the size of that thing. It's huge. This is a back for 120 film. If you can find 220 film, then you switch the back. But yeah, 220 film you get 16, the 120 you get 8. And back in the day, you could buy a short roll. It would only give you 4 exposures of 120. If you wanted to, instead of using all 8 rolls, 8 photos, you could develop 4. But yeah, just to show you the difference in size. So here's the pentax, 35mm, and the 690 film. I mean, quite a bit different. So the photos come out very clear in this camera. This camera still smells like an ashtray. It smells like your grandma's house from the 70s. Not even sure how old this is. Had it a while. Yeah, still smells like that. Weird. Okay, so that is a great. Might be my favorite camera here, maybe. This one could be my favorite camera as well. I also have the snazzy case with it still. Front. Just snaps on like that, and then you can actually pop it off. Oops. It's supposed to dangle like that, if you want to put a strap and wear it around your neck. I imagine many of you people watching this probably know what a TLR camera is. So let's take this case off. You just slide these little things up here and work it around the knobs. There we go. Okay, so that off. Take off the lens. Okay, this is a Yashica Flex. I believe it, if you look them up, it would be considered a B. I think it was A, B, C, D, something like that. This would be a B. And you know that because of these dials here, I believe. A D will actually say a D on it. The A will have a more rudimentary shutter and f-stop. I don't remember what, but they had a more rudimentary form of changing your aperture and your speed settings. But yeah, Yashica Flex. I believe it's an 80mm. Yep. F 3.5. This takes awesome photos though. I love the photos that come out of this. They're square, they're 6x6. But sometimes you won't get one in focus. That kind of is aggravating. Not sure why, but once in a while I'll get not very good focus. But when they come out really nice, really sharp. You know, just like this one, they come out very sharp when they do. And that 6x6 format is really nice. But oh yeah, and this has the pop-up viewfinder, so you look down through it and then you focus with the side knob. By twisting that, the lens goes in and out. The back, it's kind of weird how the back comes off. You twist the knob, it comes out, and you wrap the film around the spool. But you can see the 6x6 square. And then when you load it up, you get that there, you twist it and that hooks on. But yeah, I love that camera. That does a beautiful job. And you know what's funny, when I was a kid, my brother, he had something like this. I don't remember what it was, but my dad had bought it for him at a secondhand store, at a thrift store. And he was always embarrassed to take pictures with it because everybody had the fancy little slim point and shoots. That was back when the 110 film was popular, but they were the little skinny cameras. So everybody had those little skinny cameras and they're taking pictures, and then he'd have this big clunky thing hanging off his neck. And he always felt self-conscious. And he got rid of it. And I was mad that he got rid of it. One day it dawned on me, I thought, well, I wonder if he still has that camera, because I was going to offer it. Nope, he'd gotten rid of it a long time ago, which was unfortunate. I wish he'd have kept it. I don't think it was a Yashica. For some reason I feel like it was a Minolta Flex. It could have been a Rolleiflex maybe. So I believe that covers everything. Honestly can't say which camera I like the best. I like all cameras. Okay, well, this video is getting way too long. I would like to, I've got this camera I got for Christmas and I can't find it. It's this old camera. I don't even know how to get it out of the box. But maybe I'll do a video on it and just show everybody what it is. And then if anybody knows what it is, they can tell me how to get it out of the box. I would love if somebody were to put in the comments if they would like me to shoot one of these cameras with any roll of film. I'll take it out and shoot it and then post the photos, the results. That way, if you're thinking about maybe buying one of these cameras, you can see what they look like, see how they act and behave. And if you want me to expound on one of them further, I can do that too. But I wouldn't say I'm the best photographer. I love collecting cameras and I love taking pictures. I don't do it as a profession, but I just like to do it. And a lot of times I will do photos for people, school events, things where they need somebody to donate their time, and I will do a lot of donating my time and my photos for those events. But anyway, I hope you like this video. If you do, please hit the like button, and we'll see you next time. Oh, did that photo turn out? Yeah, here's my Polaroid I took. So the camera's about, I'd say, 7 feet away. Even with the flash, that was too dark. So this is definitely more of an outdoor type Polaroid. I believe if you want a Polaroid that gets more indoors, you want to get like a 600 that uses 600 film. Anyway, thanks again for watching.